All right, welcome. This is the CSRN weekly podcast. Now, if you notice something's different about the background, hey, we switched up places and we're trying out the Mott Branch Library, seeing if that'll be a good fit for CSRN. So what we're going to do right now, before we start our official open, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the timer. And that gives everybody an opportunity to join in. So let's see if we can get it. And add some music. It's great to be with everybody today.
Pathway Incorporated Brothers United program believes that children are important. Every day we support and advocate for fathers because when children have involved fathers, the whole community thrives. The fathers that come into the Brothers United program are mostly young fathers who are primarily gang members or drug dealers or those involved in lots of trauma from the time when they were youth until now. The program has fatherhood classes which teach you about your role as a father, the importance of being a father, healthy relationships, how to co-parent and work better together with your co-parent, and then economic stability, how to get a job, how to keep a job. It is so important for fathers to learn to take care of their children holistically, not just emotionally, not just physically, but financially as well, because children need a holistic approach.
I really just needed help with really being a better father and looking for a job to be able to support my kids.
Some of the problems I was facing when I joined Brothers United was communication with my children. Had some time apart from each other for a while, so they gave me the tools to really get back in communication with them.
Fathers will come into our program with their heads down. 2 weeks later, their heads are up. 3 weeks later, they're laughing and talking. 4 weeks later, they're building a bond. And by the time we get to 8 weeks, they're saying, hey, we want to stay here. What can we do to stay connected?
It gave me a better perspective on how to look at things from other people's point of view. You know, sometimes us as men, we get caught up in being prideful and arrogant, thinking we don't need the help. We do. And we just have to put our pride, selfishness, and arrogance to the side. And when the help is there, take it.
Hope plays the most important role in everything that we do because we have to have hope. We have to remember that fathers are important, and we have to not only say it, but we have to live it, we have to breathe it, we have to do it, we have to convey it to everyone.
Let's get a BU Nation on 3, fellas. 1, 2, 3, BU Nation!
The dads give us hope. The dads supply for us on the days when it gets hard. On the days when we've seen more violence than we ever want to see. On the days when we've lost some dads to jail or to murder, they give us hope. And so the hope that lives can change, if you invest in them, if you believe in them, then lives can change.
Brothers United changed my life, let's say, because of where I come from, what I've been through. I learned to understand it is help out there. Don't be scared to ask for it. If you don't reach, you can't grab. That's it.
They made me more employable, more desirable by employers, which in turn helped me provide for my family and provide for my children and my grandchild. So it makes me a better man, a better father, and a better example.
It showed me like how to be better to my kids, so I went and got custody of my son. My son been with me for a couple months now. So they showed me how to be a better parent all around, just a better man, period.
Initially, I didn't know that it could change men's lives. I didn't know that fathers could change. But it's amazing to me when fathers come back a year later, 2 years later, and tell us thank you. Or they'll make a Facebook post and say, look at what I'm doing now. It's amazing to me about the level of work that we've been able to do and the lives that we've changed in just a short period of time. And the fathers who come back and say, thank you, I needed you, and you were there.
Shout out to Brothers United, man.
All right. Welcome back. This is the CSRN weekly video minutes. It's our podcast. Welcome back. I want to say this is CSRN weekly video minutes. It's our podcast. You don't have to go on that. I want to say this is CSRN weekly video minutes. It's our podcast. You don't have to go on that. I want to say this is CSRN. It's a hot mess. Hey, listen, I want to thank you for joining us. There's a lot of things that I said without audio. Before we get into our Juneteenth recap, we had a lot of things that I said without audio. Today, we really want to get into our Juneteenth organization, a lot of people that had Exists today, but it's by another exists today. It's by Texas. That slavery give me 1 second, family. It was in June, and after that,
global tuning. Except for approved attorney calls, this call will be monitored or recorded. I have a quick new call from
who called
an inmate at a Colorado correctional facility. For customer assistance, billing inquiries, or to
he calls from the Colorado Prison Industrial Complex, and every week we allow him to call. Well, we want him to call in and give a breakdown of what's happening behind bars. Let's see if we can get him in. All right, we'll see if hey, this is a live podcast. We'll see if he calls back. I'm sure he will. All right. Looks like we're having some. Give me 1 second, family.
global telling, except for approved attorney.
Yeah, we want to lift up all of those who put together those Kwanzaa events. All right, Brother Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, how you feeling, brother?
I'm all right, brother.
All right. And listen, it looks like we were having some technical difficulty earlier, and it looks like I think we may have fixed it. And let me get to the chat. For anyone that's in the chat, can you let me know now what the sound is like? If the sound is still horrible, let me know if it's improved. For anybody that's in the chat right now, it says we can hear you now. It says it sounds better now. Just trying to work this out, Brother Omar. Let's see. And for those who are listening, hey, listen, we're working on a new space. And I think that if we, as more we get, okay, let's see. All right, he said as soon as the brother called, it got better. All right, and thank you, because right now I'm also working on some dials that I thought I had set. So thank you, Facebook family, for letting me know that. And be it the will of the universe, Brother Omar, we're going to have this a lot tighter next week. I'm Brother, and if you didn't know, I'm Brother Washington. I've got Brother Omar Gent with us today. Brother Omar, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. Just taking it day at a time. Just moving forward, you know.
Yeah.
Allah's good.
For the people that may be watching this for the first time, for the last half hour, I think that I either had, Brother Omar, we either had no sound or horrible sound. And for whatever reason, hey, it is what it is, family. Next week, we'll try to have things a little bit more tight. It wasn't good in the beginning, but I think that we're working on it right now. And those that can attend, hey, and also we may even, Omar, open up the library so people can come and watch the podcast live. And hopefully we have the sound a lot better then. So, hey, listen, brother, while you're here, could you introduce yourself, who you are, and also why are you in this fight for equality, for justice and freedom?
Well, to those who don't know me, my name is Omar Chen. Basically, I'm a truth teller. You know, I'm in this fight for freedom, justice, equality, because I'm honoring the legacy of the ancestors. You know, those known and unknown. Just trying to carry that great legacy. In all humility, but also in this determined energy just to move forward. As explained on my website, freeourbrothers.com. I'm going toe to toe with a system that illegally incarcerates brothers and sisters, not just in Colorado, but it goes into other jurisdictions in other states, cities, and brings brothers and sisters back, even poor non-black people back to this state to warehouse us. So, once the information was presented to me and about the truth of this system, I couldn't back down. No way, my brother.
All right. We just had Juneteenth, and this is kind of the question for today. Brother Omar, we had 10 Juneteenth events in the city. All of these events were put together by people that love our people. All right. There was no corporate sponsored, it was no Bud Light, Juneteenth festival or brought to you by Oscar Mayer, no madness like that. Just regular people deciding that we're going to be free today. So for you, where do you see us going from here as far as Black people unifying and being together? How do you take that question?
Man, that's a very powerful question, and I do my best to the grace of the Creator to answer it. When you asked me that question, the first thing that came to my mind is, shortly after so-called freedom, granted from, the Emancipation Proclamation and the Civil War, our ancestors immediately established Black towns, I think it was 60 of them, and over 200 Black hospitals, So they understood that it had to be just freedom on paper or so-called physical freedom, but it had to be an economic liberation where they were coming together and doing for self, cooperating with one another. And I feel that over time, because of the policies and the lack of knowledge of self, our community has been moved towards looking to our former slave masters and their children for solutions and liberation. And we need to get back to that. It's all good to celebrate and honor the ancestors, but we must go and study and look at what they did, once they, got their freedom, and how they immediately organized, and how we can protect that legacy by protecting one another when we do make, and supporting one another when we do make these advances. So I know in my heart that without economic liberation, without operational unity amongst ourselves, we can't move forward. Every celebration would just be more of a symbol, with no substance.
Right. I've heard this term operational unity, and I've heard many people try to define it. And thanks for bringing that into the discussion. How do you define operational unity?
Well, the best way I would find it, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he's a big preacher of unity and cooperation. And if you look at the Million Man March and basically everything he's ever done, he's brought different people together, from atheists to Christians to Jews to people from the Nation of Islam, so-called street gangs, what people call gangs, what the minister called the street organizations. So you bring all these people together, right? Now, you may be a black nationalist, and I may be a Christian, or another person may be a Muslim, or another person may be more of a feminist group. You don't have to abandon your agenda now. You don't have to abandon your agenda as far as moving the people forward for liberation. Operational unity means we can come together on the common points, some common goals, and work together on those common points and common goals without wholeheartedly, abandoning, our own program and our own platform. And so many people think because they come up with a program that, okay, if you don't agree with my 10 or 12 points, you only agree with 5 and 6, then I'm not working with you. And the enemy loves that, because when they get together, they have their disputes. The enemy, the rise of our people, even they have their disputes in separate silos and everything, they come together on one common goal from the beginning, which is to keep us down and keep their boot on our neck. And they may disagree about how that's going to get done, but they do it. So operational unity just means, hey, I love you. We don't have to attack each other. We don't have to be divided. We can work together towards a common goal. Let's find what we have in common and work on that instead of focusing on the differences.
Right. Also, before we move any further, as we're talking about unity, our word for the day from the Nguzu Saba, this is from the celebration of Kwanzaa, is umoja. That's unity. And that's to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, union, and race. And we thank Dr. Maulana Karenga for creating Kwanzaa in the way that we celebrate it, so that we can have some principles, Brother Omar, that we can enact every day, from self-determination to collective working responsibility, cooperative economics. And you talked about that. Without economics, brother, we're dead in the water. You know that, from purpose, creativity, and faith. And Dr. Karenga defines faith as to believe with all of our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. And that's where we're at right now. But struggle sometimes creates some difficulty. And I wanted to ask you, before I go to your webpage, we got freeourbrothers.com webpage up right now. And I want to go through the webpage for those who may be watching this podcast for the first time, to talk about some of your points and how they could support But I wanted to talk about this thing called self-care. It's one of our principles, our guiding principles for you being in the belly of the beast. All right. What do you do, brother, to keep balance? What do you do to keep your head on straight?
First and foremost, my brother, I get up early in the morning when it's silent, when it's quiet, because there's so much constant noise. And I like to get up early in the morning and reflect on, just the greatness of the Creator. Make sure I'm spiritually in tune. Read the Quran, read the Bible, Final Call newspaper, which gives me what I would call a armor. I was talking armor that protects me from the negativity of this place, the poison of this place. I was talking to one of the brothers today. He said he was down for 29 years. And he was commending me on my inner peace. And he was saying, in this environment, you can't have inner peace. You can't have inner calm. And I was saying, brother, it's not true. You have to redirect the program. Self-care may be, basically getting up in the morning and just meditating. Maybe you're not a spiritual person, meditating or just on positive thoughts. To clearing your mind from all the junk and clutter that you control what's going on internally. That's very important. So also self-care has got to do with, like you said, our people are fed a diet of fear. You got to detox. Sometimes you may have to shut that computer off or do what you can to get away from negative people and negative sources. Detox. Get it out of your system. Maybe a little at a time, and you start getting better and better. Do a fast, unplug. Watch what you put into your body, your mind. Guard your gates. It's very important because you have your mental stomach, you have your physical stomach, you have your emotional stomach. People just think of the stomach, they think of just the physical stomach, but you have so many different stomachs, so protect yourself, watch your diet, and also exercise, whatever you can do. I know people are very busy out there. Even it's only like 10 minutes a day. Start with that. You need to get up and move, do something, walk, run, whatever you can do. Maybe you're going to do like 5 jumping jacks. Start with 5. Next thing you know, move yourself up to 50.
That's right.
Because it builds discipline, it builds strength, and it builds also just the ability to keep fighting,
All right. Hey, listen, I want to go to your webpage. Let me put your webpage up full screen right now. We've got freeourbrothers.com. It's the campaign to stop modern day slavery in Colorado, demanding equal rights to the underrepresented. All right, demanding equal rights to the underrepresented. Now, how did this come about? You see, I'm a former confined citizen, and I gotta admit, I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about helping anybody else. I was thinking about getting out, really just doing my time, getting out. Hopefully I find a Nation of Islam when I get to Toledo, all right? And I was just happened to come from the weight room, and them brothers was on the corner. I was the happiest day of my life, because I had never seen the Nation of Islam before I did time. When I came back, hey, they were everywhere. So, for you, how did this come about, freeourbrothers.com, and this campaign to stop modern day slavery in Colorado? How did that come about for you?
Well, the Quran says they plan, but Allah is the best of planners. People tried to destroy my mind, and railroad me to prison. In this environment where there's lack of knowledge of self, where really don't have any black support groups. The Nation of Islam is not in here. Various groups that you don't appeal to, the New African Black Panthers not in here. So when I came in and I started to read the Final Call newspaper along with other readings of just the struggle and legacy of my people, and a certain brother named Alexander, I thank God for this brother. He was used as a messenger to give me the message, and immediately everything is clicked from the great teachers of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan and other his great students. And just reading that paper is very important to me, to watch brothers from the Nation of Islam demonstrate the strength and courage and an example of black manhood and power. I was just like, you know what? I can't bow down. I have to take this legal knowledge that the Creator has blessed me with and apply it to be someone who's going to deliver the message and deliver it well. So the great brother Malcolm X said, if you're not willing to die for something, then you shouldn't get involved with the cause. So I made up in my mind, regardless of the repression, regardless of the pushbacks, that even if it cost me my life, I was going to tell the truth, because they've been doing this for generations in this state of Colorado. And it's funny about PrayerBrothers.com is it's bigger, like I said earlier, in Omar in Colorado. They're going to other states, jurisdictions, you know. So many people here, and it's about men, women, and children as well. And as I looked out the window one day, I was on the other side of the prison, and I saw so many young black children, you know, juveniles, probably no older than 17 years old, and they got off that van. And I looked out, and I said, I have to deliver the message, deliver it well. I can't fail myself. I can't fail those brothers. But nobody's going to stand, and through the grace of God, I will, you know. So from that point, you know, I just made my mind up to keep the website going. Also, Instagram at Free Our Brothers. Instagram at Free Our Brothers. Please follow us and support the campaign. We need everybody. Anybody that's serious about fighting for the cause of freedom, justice, and equality for all people. You know, it's not just about black males or, you know, males in general. It's about all of us.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I got a couple more questions to ask you, and then we're gonna, you know, move on with talking about some of the people that organize these Juneteenth events. And what about support from family? Often when we're incarcerated, we lose contact with family and friends, and most times, you know, most people are pushed aside. What about you? What about family support with you? How does your family view you and your growth?
Oh man, you know, you had my father on one of your most recent podcasts, and he's a very close friend. You know, he's also a father as well. You know, so he's very supportive. You know, everything I ask him to do, he's always been there. My siblings created the website, freeourbrothers.com. My brother and my sister, you know, they're my some of my greatest supporters, especially my sister. Me and her are very close. Sometimes I feel like, wow, we're a little bit too close, because we talk about everything. I mean, everything, you know. Right. But I love her, man. I love her. My beautiful fiance, wonderful black woman. She's been there. She's my first love since high school, through thick and thin. I always wasn't the best person towards her, but you know, the Quran says, you know, your family be a test to you. And she's surely been a test to me, like I've been a test to her. In all honesty, she's pulled a lot of great things out of me, and vice versa. But she's very supportive, holding me down she's been down with me this whole sentence, riding and supporting me, helping me to move forward. And when she tells me, she's very proud. And it's kind of hard for me to kind of like, at times, you know, take it all in, because I'm just always moving so fast. But I gotta slow down. It's part of self-care. Slow down, allow people to just to love on you and compliment you, and just embrace that, my brother.
All right. Hey, listen, next time you talk with your dad, when the playoffs, the NBA playoffs started, I was getting all types of, you know, text messages, you know, how you feeling, Brother Washington, or whatever. It, all of a sudden, those text messages stopped coming.
Yeah.
So hey, I need to check on my people.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah. I'll make sure I let him know, man, that, you know, he need to, I told him, I say, hey, man, you got to put your mind on the right things, man. He's all right, though, man. I'll make sure he appreciates the love. And I try to see if I get him on when the podcast coming up, man, and try to get my fiance on there. But thank you for the platform. You know, it's beautiful what y'all doing. In 30 seconds, I'll say, please support Instagram at Free Our Brothers. It's freeourbrothers.com.
30 seconds remaining.
I know. Revolutionary greetings and shields up.
Shields up. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, family, that was Brother Omar Jen calling from the Colorado Prison Industrial Complex. And it's awesome to have him call in weekly and whenever he can, and to also give us some motivation to continue doing what we're doing. Family, I want to just list a few. No, I want to list all of the events that I know of. If there's some events that we didn't mention here, please put them in the chat. Next week we'll mention those. And also, I hope that the sound is better than it was earlier. We changed locations, and I think that some of our settings that were fine in our other location, once we got here, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on with not only the camera, the computer, the software, and things just didn't link up. So we may have lost some people that were listening before, but we didn't have any sound. And then when we had sound, it was horrible. So by the time that Brother Omar got on, it looked like we looked at some of the buttons and said, oh, this button wasn't pushed. This button was pushed 2 times. So I think that we may have it together, but I wouldn't know unless you're watching. And if you are watching right now, if you could put something in the chat, if it sounds okay or if it still sounds muffled or whatever, we'll try to do our best next week to tighten some things up. All right. What I want to do before we leave today is mention some of the organizations and people that really put together some dynamic Juneteenth presentations. First, I want to start with the African American Legacy Project that was on Collingwood, and it was a weekend celebration, June 18th and June 19th. And I really want to just shout out my brother Robert over there that just does a phenomenal job, and everybody that attended that event right there was packed. That was packed. Also wanted to shout out Community United. We had our first parade downtown, and our sister Alexia Sim and Gutter Dave, who were at the forefront of Community United to give us a parade, something that we could be proud of. The mighty Marcus Garvey would put together parades for us and be able to demonstrate that we're a beautiful people. Let me check. Yeah, and this is in the same vein as that. So big ups to Community United with the Juneteenth Freedom Parade and ceremony. Also lifting up fatherhood, that was on the 19th, and they lined up at 1 p.m. Lots of pictures from the parade. Next is the CSRN Omega Psi Brothers United program at Smith Park. I was a part of that, and we utilized all of Smith Park. We utilized not only Smith Park, shout out to King School, King Academy for boys, and shout out to Principal Ward, his wife, and the staff, principal, everybody there that allowed us to use the building for our bike giveaway, for our air fryer giveaway. Dynamic, great, and big shout out also to all of the vendors and all of those that came and distributed information from Center of Hope to the Violence Interrupters. I didn't get a chance to talk with those brothers, but much love and respect for the Violence Interrupters that get it in our community. Shout out to the Frederick Douglass Community Association and Mother Diane Gordon for their Juneteenth event that they had at the Doug. Great job. The ProMedica Promenade Park concert when we were waiting on Common, but you all know what happened, all right? So better luck next time. The Vibe Lounge Juneteenth Dashiki Day, that was on the 19th. Didn't make it there, but I do have a dashiki. Spider Production and City Park League Premier Hall. They had the Black Business Resource Expo, and also Lil Scrappy was there too. So everybody had something for everybody, and that was the greatest thing about Juneteenth this year. Also, the NAACP had a rooftop party and also had a job fair on the same day. So you had not only things that you can go to feel good, but also they had a job fair that they were inviting young people and whomever needed work and wanted to network with some of the people that hire people, they were there. So shout out to the NAACP Toledo branch and the staff and members of the NAACP for putting that together. For the third annual Juneteenth celebration at Wallbridge Park. That's our sister Shaniki Chi and everybody there that put that together. That was on the 19th from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I really don't have an excuse for not being there because they were there from 12 to 8. And also, before we get to the last part, I'm going to also shout out Lima, Ohio. I was there to host the Juneteenth program with Lima Unit centered on dads dealing with substance abuse and things of that nature. Lima is on. All right, Lima is on, and great. It was great to be able to be invited and host that. And lastly, before we close out, is the Toledo Museum of Art, and they also have some change makers. I know I can't bring this up. Maybe I should have did a better job of really doing a lot of stuff today. Let me see if I could bring this up. They had some change makers come on T-Mobile. There you go. There were some change makers that we wanted to lift up, that they honored. And I think that if we get a chance to honor our own, we should do it. And they better come up on my phone. All right. We had Suzette Cowell, Alicia Smith, David Ross, better known as Gutter Dave, Principal Carnell Smith, Reggie Williams from the Doug, Robert Smith from the African American Legacy Foundation, Calvin Sweeney, Christine Sweeney, Sonia Ramil, and big shout out to my sister, Rhonda Sewell, for really making this happen. Beautiful job for everybody that was listed. And if there were some that weren't listed that were celebrated, please correct me somebody, but great job for all of those that participated with the Toledo Museum of Art. Great job, everybody. Family, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, wrap some things up, and man, we'll be out for the day. Hey, listen, family, this is the CSRN weekly podcast, our video minutes. We'll be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. We're back. This is the CSRN weekly video minutes, or a podcast that we come to you every week and talk about some of the things we've done last week, which was Juneteenth. And let me put up some of the people that had some awesome events. Just put them up, that was the Spider in her event there. We had also Shaniki's event at Wallbridge. We had the NAACP, the Toledo Museum of Art, the Frederick Douglass. We had the Juneteenth Freedom Parade. And what's happening next? We're calling all vendors to Black Lido. All right, we're going to be meeting in the Vibe parking lot. That's going to be on the 13th of August from 12 to 8 p.m. If you want to be a part of this, contact Alicia Sims, man. Don't even play that back, Alexia. Contact Alexia Sims, get some information. Right now, we're trying to get at least 65 vendors. I think we can do better. All right, I think we can do better. We're hoping that this will be the ultimate pop-up. We talk about economic justice. We talk about recycling our own money in our community. Well, you're going to get a chance to do that. So we're going to be promoting that for the next month or two. So family, listen, as we close this podcast, one of the things that we do, we talk about our pledge, where we pledge to love our brothers and sisters as we love ourselves. We pledge to study to improve ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically for the benefit of ourselves, our family, and our people. We pledge to be a part of the solution, to be a part of the process, and not be a part of the problem. And also we pledge to give all that we can spare of our time, our strength, and our energy to achieve the things that we just said, family. We thank you for being with us this week on our podcast. We look forward to being back with you next week. We're going to look at all the bugs that happened this week. What are some of the things that we can do to prevent that from happening? And man, we'll be back. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. And Black lives can't matter until all Black lives matter. Justice or else, peace.